Hello and welcome to Mock Productions. You are here with me, Matthew, and we are here with something a little bit different. We have got the list for the whole complete set of Guardians Rising, the next set of Pokemon cards, which will be releasing extremely soon. May 5th for a majority of people, May 1st for some lucky people, but if you guys know your stuff, pre-release is happening this weekend and next weekend all across the world. I'm going to one tonight, like literally tonight. When this video goes up, it will be going up tonight. So what better way to get excited and get ready for that and prepared than to look through all of these cards and see which ones might draw people's attention. Now, admittedly, all these cards, as you can see here, are obviously in Japanese. However, they've all been basically translated into English for us, so if we really wanted to see all the attacks and everything, you can read them there. So basically this whole set is made up of 3 different Japanese sets, one being the SM1 Plus Strengthening Expansion Pack, 2 being the Islands Waiting for You, and Moonlight of Alola packs. So all of that has been clumped together and has given us this, which I believe is about 166 cards in all, including secret rares. So that is pretty awesome indeed. So as we go down here, we'll be able to see a few different Pokemon throughout the whole thing. We're going to be going through all of them, getting hyped for every single one, checking out this set, and hopefully, you know, we can sort out what sort of cards we're looking for. But we start with this Bellsprout here. Not too awesome, you know. All it does is 30 attack, but obviously it does lead on. It does have an evolution chain. The next one being a Weeping Bell, which is 40 damage, and if you flip a coin and it's heads, you can discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. And the artwork is very, very cool. I love this artwork for Weeping Bell as well. Victory Bell. That is a pretty sweet artwork indeed. It is a very, very cool. It looks very much like it's been done on a computer, and it's like got all its little, like, you've done it on like a little pad thing. But that has 2 attacks, one being 20 damage. The active Pokemon, this is awesome, is Burned, Confused, and Poisoned. If I could pull that, that is something very devastating indeed. Stick and Absorb, that's 80 damage, and heal 20 from this Pokemon. The defending Pokemon cannot retreat during your opponent's next turn. That is pretty cool indeed, especially if you've landed that one first, then you go down to this one. That is pretty sweet indeed. The next one is Petilil, and the basic attack is it's 10 damage, but you also heal 10. And seeing as it's only 50 health, that might be a pretty good card to keep. Well, at least to, you know, try and keep it alive for its evolution into Lilligant, which then gives you Petal Blizzard, and that attack does 10 damage. Feature your opponent's Pokemon, so that's pretty cool. You know, if the whole thing is 60, you get 60 damage from that. Petal Dance is flip 3 coins. This attack does 40 damage for each heads, and the Pokemon is now confused, which is rather interesting. So then we move on to Phantom, which has 2 attacks, one being Tackle for 10, and the other one being Confuse Ray. Guess what that does? It confuses your opponent's active Pokemon. Next one is Trevenant. Not actually a good scan there of the actual card, but it'll do. And the first move is Poltergeist. 30 times damage. Your opponent reveals their hand. This attack does 30 damage for each trainer card. Now that is pretty devastating, especially if your opponent has, I don't know, let's say 9 cards, and 3 of them happen to be trainers. Boom, that's 90 damage straight off. Then you also have Horn Leech, which is 90 damage, and you also heal 30 from that Pokemon. Next one then is Wimpod, and this has 2 attacks as well, even though it is a basic, and it's called Scamper Away. Shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. Interesting. Ram, 10 damage. Now, of course, you need that to get Golisopod here, and this will be a holo in the English set. You can see all this sparkle around here. And the first one is Armor. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks, so that's already an ability, so that is kicked in already. Doesn't need any energy, which is pretty cool. Resolute Claws, 80 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon GX or EX, this attack does 70 more damage. That is very, very devastating. especially if you've got some focused EX or GX stuff going on. Next one we have is Victini, again another holo from this set, and a fire one. It's got Victory Star, and this basically allows you, when you flip coins and you're not happy with it, it basically allows you to retry it, so you can flip them again, and then that is what you go with. As well as V Flame, apparently that's what it's going to be called. 50 damage. That is not bad indeed. Moving on, we have very interesting. I like this though, that Liftwick, Lampant and Chandelier have moved to the fire element, especially for this. But Litwick here, it does 10 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Then we have, of course, Lampant here, which has another move, which is 30 damage. Moving up to another holo for this set, which will be Chandelier, a very awesome looking card there. Loving that background, especially in holo form. That's going to be so sweet. Shady move, once during your turn, before your attack, you may move 1 damage counter from one Pokemon to another Pokemon. That's interesting. Super Singe, 50 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. That is pretty sweet. Then we have Oricorio, which I believe is one of the 4 birds, elemental birds that are on this island. They're all called Oricorio, but they've all got a different element to them. But this one has got Passionate Dance. Search your deck for up to 3 basic fire Pokemon and put them into your bench. Put them into your bench, then shuffle your deck. Kindle, 30 damage. Discard an energy from this Pokemon if you do discard an energy from your opponent's Pokemon. Not bad, doesn't evolve or anything like that, but, you know, maybe. Then we have Salandit here. Very nice looking card there. Loving that lava effect coming out there. 2 moves. It's got a fire move, which is 10 damage, and then 2 colorless, which is 20 damage, and if your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, this attack does 40 more damage, and that's just for the basic. Then it evolves into Salazzle, which is a pretty sweet looking card indeed. 2 things. The ability is Hot Poison, so this doesn't require anything. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, during your turn you may leave your opponent... Oh, that's pretty good. Opponent's active Pokemon burned and poisoned. Flamethrower, 90 damage, and discard an energy from this Pokemon, so, you know, not bad, not bad. Then we got this one here, a very awesome looking card, Turtonator. And this is just a normal form. Of course, there will be a GX. Body Slam, 30 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Then we've also got Fire, and a colorless, which is 90 damage for Heat Blast. Moving on, we have a Turtonator GX, and that looks so sweet. I mean, it really does just look so cool. Be so awesome to pull that. Trap Shell, 20 damage. If this Pokemon is damaged by an attack during your opponent's next turn, place 8 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. That is so cool. Crimson Flame, 160 damage. Discard 2 fire energies attached to this Pokemon, and then the GX move, which can only be used once. It's just 1 fire. Is attach 5 fire energies from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. That is a pretty sweet move indeed, because obviously you could possibly have this to start with and think, oh, you know what, let's just play it. Boom, GX straight away. You can fuel this guy up and get, you can get possibly another one if you had maybe 2 of these in your deck straight away. That'd be pretty awesome indeed. Of course, you can only use 1 GX move though per game. Then we have a Alolan Sandshrew here, looks very cool. You have this one here, this little move there is free. It's free to use, and it's Defense Curl, which is flip a coin. If heads, prevent all damage done. Which, to be honest, could be a very good move. So that's pretty awesome. Ice Ball then is 30 damage, which is the other one, but you need a water and two colorless. Then that will evolve into, I love this, an Alolan Sandslash, which the ability is Snow Shovel. Once during your turn, you may draw 1 card. Interesting, you know, it does give you that ability. It is free. And then for a water and 2 colorless, you get Smash Turn, which is 50 damage, and switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, so it sort of keeps him a little bit safe. Then you move to Alolan Vulpix, looks very interesting. Another free one here, which is search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them in your hand. Then shuffle your deck. It doesn't say anything about basic EX, GX. It's just 2 Pokemon. You could get the next one after, obviously, you could do possibly 20 damage, but you could then get the Alolan Ninetales GX, and this looks so cool. It really, really does. And that has a first move of 2 colorless for Ice Blade. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not bad. Then we have Water, and colorless, which is Blizzard Edge, which is 160 damage, and discard 2 energy attached to this Pokemon. Then your GX, which can only be used once per your game, is 2 colorless Ice Path GX. Move all damage counters from this Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. That is pretty devastating, especially say you have 200 health. Boom, the opponent, if it's like 180 for maybe an EX, I don't know, it's gone. It is gone. It's out of here. So then the next one we have is Tentacool, which is a basic, and that's Sludge Shock, which is 10 damage to the opponents, and the defending Pokemon can't be healed during your opponent's next turn. Okay. Then it evolves into Tentacruel, which has 2 moves. Poison String for 30 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. And then for 3 colorless, you get Seething Tentacle. 40 damage, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 40 more damage. If tails, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. It's interesting because either way, that is a pretty that's pretty devastating indeed. Then the next one here is Politoed here. That is pretty sweet because we did have we did have Poliwag and all that in the previous one, but this is Politoed, which evolves from Poliwhirl, and it's got 2 moves, which one is for Water Roll Call. Search your deck for a Poliwag, Poliwhirl, or Poliwrath and put them into your bench. That is pretty sweet. Put them onto your bench, so they don't have to even evolve. You could could get this guy straight up. Oh, no, actually you can't. Ah, that's fair enough. So you got to get your Poliwag to the Poliwhirl, then to get your Politoed, then maybe you have a Poliwrath in your selection of cards. Boom, you've got your Poliwrath. Then you've got a Water and 2 double colorless, which is Hyper Jump, 100 damage. You may shuffle this Pokemon, all cards attached to it, into your deck. That is not bad indeed. Then you have Delibird here. Very, very cool looking artwork here. Love that Pokemon indeed. And I don't think I've actually got any cards to do with Delibird, which is pretty interesting. All the presents, flip a coin until you get heads. For each heads, search your deck for 1 card and put it into your hand. 1 card. 1 card! That is pretty sweet. Then Water, surprise attack, 40 damage, flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. So, I mean, honestly, I'd probably just get him on your team just for that first move, because that is pretty devastating for 1 card. You could just pull out a GX straight away. That's pretty cool. But it does say flip a coin until you get tails. So you could keep getting heads for maybe 4, and then you've got your 4. That's awesome. This one, I love the artwork of this. This is Carvana. And basically, the 1 attack for 1 water is 10 damage. Then that evolves into Sharpedo, which was a holo in the previous set of Sun and Moon. And this one is just 1 move again, but Jet Headbutt, which is 70 damage. Not bad. Then we move to Wailmer, which has a water and colourless for 20 damage, and 3 water and a colourless for 70 damage. Not a bad looking artwork there either. I love this artwork as well for Wailord. This has 2 moves as well. We got 2 water and a colourless dive, 40 damage, flip a coin. If heads, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon during your next opponent's turn. That is very, very cool. Then for 3 water and 1 colourless, you can open sea. 80 damage, heal 30 damage from each of your water Pokemon. Okay, and then it says there about something there, but there we go. Not bad, and I love the artwork on that. It has to be said, that is a pretty sweet looking card. I love this one as well. Snorunt, which is both water attacks here. 10 damage and 20. That can then evolve into Galele, which I'm still looking for that Mega Galele, but hey ho, we're we're going to move on with Galele here. Just an evolved form of this, but it's got Crunch for 40 damage, flip a coin. If heads,
discard an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. And then for 3 water, Raging Flow, 70 plus damage. If this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack does 80 more damage. That could even just be 1 counter. 1. Devastating then. Complete and utterly devastating. Vanillite, love this artwork as well. That is a pretty sweet looking card. Triple spin, flip 3 coins. This attack does 10 damage for each heads. Then we have Vanillish, which is just 1 more water. It is just 1 water. Ice Shard, 30 damage if your opponent's active Pokemon is fire Pokemon. Is it really? F. Or is that fighting? It might be a fighting Pokemon. Could be. Then it does 30 more damage. That's interesting. Interesting to say the least. Then Vanillux, which is a rare. And this has 2 moves. 1 water, Hail. This attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. And then 3 water, Frozen Breath, 80 damage. You may discard 2 water energies from this Pokemon. If you do, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Then we have this card here, Alomomola. Maybe Alomomola. 2 moves here. You got a colorless, which is Born Ashore. Put a basic Pokemon from either player's discard pile onto its owner's bench. Ooh, yikes! From either player's discard pile. So that's interesting because you can bring back one that you've lost, but you bring back one that they've lost. I don't know. And then for this attack, water, 2 colorless, Hydro Splash, 60 damage. That card can get ripped up straight away, but the health isn't bad with 110, especially for a basic. Then we got this awesome one, Wishy Washy. The ability here, Schooling. Once during your turn, you may switch this Pokemon with a Wishy Washy GX in your hand. Any attached cards, damage counter, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. So say this guy has, he's only got 30 health, but say he's got a 10 damage counter on him, that moves over to this bad boy, Wishy Washy GX, which just looks absolutely amazing. But look how many energies you need. Anyway, let's finish off this one with that 1 water. Sharpshooting, this attack does 10 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Doesn't have to be any, it can be any. Wishy Washy GX, sorry. This has 3 moves, of course the GX as well. We got 1 water, which does 20 damage. 3 water, 2 colorless, which is 120 damage, and discard a special energy card attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. That could be pretty awesome. Then with 3 water and 2 colorless, Blue Surge GX, 220 damage. Move all energy attached to this Pokemon to bench Pokemon in any way you like. Yes, it can get rid of people. Yeah, that's fair enough. But you're losing all the energy that you've just stacked up. Look at all the energy you've got there. Crazy. Then we have Marini here, which has 2 moves. We've got Bailout, put a Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. That's not bad. Rain Splash, 10 damage. I just do it for that first one there. That's pretty good. Then we've got, I love this evolution so much. A Alolan Geodude, we've got that free move there for Rock Polish, which is during your next turn. This Pokemon has no retreat cost. Can be very useful, especially with 2 double colorless. A Lightning and... Lightning? Electric? It's Electric. What am I on about Lightning? Electric and 2 colorless for 40 damage there. Then that will evolve into a Alolan Graveler with Lightning... I said it again. Electric. Oh, it is Lightning. Hey-ho. A Lightning and 2 double colorless. 50 damage, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 20 more damage. If tails, this Pokemon does 20 to itself. Not bad, especially for 110 health, it's not bad. 3 lightning and 1 colorless. Electro Bullet, which is 80 damage. This attack also does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That's not bad, I like them sort of moves. Evolving to a Alolan Golem, which hopefully will be a holo, because it looks so awesome. I love it so much. It's such an awesome looking card. I'd love to see a GX, honestly. I'm just going to state that there. Love to see a GX. But we have a Lightning and 2 colorless, which is Electro Rock Wrecker, sorry. 80 times damage, flip a coin for each lightning energy attached to this Pokemon. Oh my gosh, this attack does 80 damage
for each heads. Oh, okay. Flip a coin for each. I got you. Okay, so if you had 3 lightnings on there, you get 3 chances, and for every heads, you get 80 damage. Fair enough. Heavy Bomber is 1 lightning and 3 colourless. 200 damage. Oh, hold on. 200 minus. Is that? Yeah, okay. This attack does 30 less damage for each colourless in the retreat cost of your... Oh, right, okay. So, say for example your opponent has two colourless. That means it's 60 less than 200. Okay, that's pretty cool. You know, it's not bad, it's not bad. Okay, moving on to the next one, which is Helioptile, and this is a lightning energy for 10 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Not bad artwork there, very, very cool. That moves to Heliusk, which is a colourless quick attack for 20 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 20 more damage. Then a lightning and 2 colourless is Raging Thunder, 120 damage. This attack does 30 damage to one of your bench Pokemon. That is pretty sweet, and the artwork is very, very nice. This card I am looking forward to so much. I haven't even got a Vikavolt from Sun and Moon, but if I can get a GX, I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. It's so, so cool. That is the one I'm aiming for. Lightning, Charge Beam, which is 50 damage. Attach 1 energy card from your discard pile to that Pokemon. That's very cool because it can keep stacking that up and everything like that. Lightning in 3 colours. Super Zap Cannon, 180 damage. Discard 2 energies attached to this Pokemon. Yeah, it's not bad because obviously you've got this to get 1 back, plus you can place 1 on yourself. So I mean, you know, that sort of groups it back up nicely. The GX as well is a lightning and 3 colours for Gigatron GX, which does 60 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That is devastating. That really, really is. Wow. Then we have the Oricorio Lightning form, or at least the Lightning Bird. And this has two again. Feather Dance, which is during your next turn, this Pokemon's Pom-Pom Punch attacks base damage as 100. And obviously the Pom-Pom Punch, if you haven't activated that, is just 20. So, you know, it's interesting. Interesting to say the least. Then we have this bad boy, which is Tapu Koko GX. Very sweet looking card indeed. Liking the look of this a lot. The ability Aero Trial, once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand onto your bench, you may move any number of lightning energy attached to your Pokemon to this Pokemon. If you move any energy, switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. Interesting because you can just deck it out straight away as soon as you find it. Boom, it's sorted. Skyclaw, 130 damage, that's for 2 lightnings and 1 colourless. And then the GX, which is Tapu Thunder, for again 2 lightnings and a colourless. Does 50 damage times the number of energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. That is pretty good. Slowpoke here looking very, very awesome, lying down because he's evidently a big lazy Slowpoke. Colourless Headbutt, 10 damage, and then for a Psychic and 2 colours, Whimsy Tackle, which is 60 damage. Flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. Ugh. Slowbro here, liking the artwork of that a lot because it looks as if there's a Hoppip there, maybe. Amnesia, 20 damage. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks. That Pokemon cannot use. I love that move. I can't use it. Psychic and 2 colours Facade, 50 plus damage. If this Pokemon is burned or poisoned, this attack does 80 more damage. That is pretty cool. Trubbish looks very cool in sort of like clay form there. Very cool. Stump Off, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. Not bad. And then for Psychic and 2 colourless, Drool for 30 damage. Whew. But that does set you up for when you evolve into Garbodor. Very awesome indeed. Listen to this one. For 1 Psychic Trashalon, this attack does 20 damage for each item card in your opponent's discard pile. Can you imagine if he's got 20 in there? That's 20 times 20. That's insane. Insane. Psychic and 2 colourless Acid Bomb, 70 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Very, very good card there indeed. I would definitely say so. Goth Eater here, loving this. I like when it's sort of put in real life. That's very, very cool. Blown Kiss for 1 Psychic. Put 1 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Any in particular. Not bad. Gothorita, 2 moves. 1 Psychic is Slap, 20 damage. And for a Psychic and Colours, we have Psybeam for 30 damage.
Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Not a bad artwork there, sort of leading you into a forest. And then we have Gothitelle, which has a Psychic for Tractor Beam. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active. This attack does 30 damage to the new active Pokemon. Spelt wrong. Link Blast, 50 plus damage. If this Pokemon and your opponent's active Pokemon have the same amount of energy, this attack does 80 more damage. Not bad, and the artwork is pretty sweet. Then we have two Psychic Oricorios. They've all got different names as well, but this one is, as you can see there, ability, which is just free. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may search your deck for up to 2 basic energies, reveal them and put them into your hand. Not bad. Then for a Psychic and Colourless, Casual Slap, 30 damage. What the heck? Oh, that's insane. Okay, so then we have the other Oricorio here. I like that artwork a lot. Supernatural Dance, for each Pokemon in your opponent's discard pile, put 1 damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. Not bad. And then we have Revelation Dance, 30 damage. If there is no Stadium card in play, this attack does nothing. Then we have this bad boy, Toxapex GX, which I love the look of. This is a very, very cool card. Another one from that strengthening expansion, as well as the Vikavolt one. But this has 3 moves. Psychic Spike Cannon is 30 times damage. Flip 4 coins. This attack does 30 damage times the amount of heads. 3 Psychic is Ultra Toxic Poison. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poison. Put 10 damage counters instead of 1. Oh! Oh my gosh, that is devastating. So you can basically put 100. That is a crazy move. That is really, really awesome. Unless it cures himself. But then you can just do it again. Then you have 3 Psychics again for a Toxa Shelter GX, which is 150 damage. Prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. That is very cool indeed, especially for 150. Mimikyu here, which is going to be a holo, a very sweet looking card. Flinch, draw 2 cards, and then obviously we have Psychic and Colourless there for Copycat if your opponent's Pokemon use an attack that isn't a GX attack during their last turn. Use it as... Oh, that is pretty cool. Wow. Then we have a Delmise, which I believe, again, is another holo. The ability here, Steelworker, your metal Pokemon's attacks do 10 more damage to the opponent. So, that's not bad. It does sort of like link with metal, maybe do a Psychic Metal deck. Then you have Psychic and 2 Colourless for Anchor Shot, 70 damage. This defending Pokemon cannot retreat during your opponent's next turn. Very nice. Looks pretty awesome. This card has had a lot of talk about it. Tapu Lele GX. Apparently it's going to be an absolute game changer, and it definitely does sound like it. Listen to this. Ability. Completely free. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may search your deck for a supporter card. Reveal it and put it into your hand. 2 Colourless. Energy Drive. This attack does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. This damage isn't affected. Yeah, okay, whatever. Then, 1 Psychic for the GX, Tapu Cure. Heal all damage from 2 of your bench Pokemon. Game changer. Game changer. Insane. Very cool indeed. Then we get another Lunala card looking extremely cool. It's not going to be a holo, but it's going to just be... I think it's a rare. Shatter Shot here, 40 times damage. Now this is a it's not a full reprint, but it's a form from Mewtwo from Breakthrough. He had a Shatter Shot, but it was 30 times. Exactly the same thing for every Psychic energy attached to your Pokemon. Not bad. Then you have 3 Psychics here. Wing of the Moon, spelt with an E. 130 damage. Move all energy from this Pokemon to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. So, that sort of does avoid the factor, but hey-ho. Then we have Match Up, which is 2 fightings. We have a Double Chop, which is 30 times damage. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 30 damage times the amount of heads. Then Match Up again, we have a Fighting and Colourless. This one's a little bit more better, because at least you're guaranteed a decent amount of damage for especially a basic. 50 damage for 2 energies there. That evolves into a Machoke here. I love the artwork for that. I think I prefer that to the other one. This one looks a little bit weird, but hey-ho. Then it evolves into, obviously, Machoke, which the ability, completely free. Daunting Pose, prevent all damage done to your benched Pokemon by your opponent's attacks. That is very, very cool indeed. 2 fighting, 30 damage, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 more damage. That's pretty cool. Machamp then is hopefully going to be a holo, I hope. I love this artwork so much. It's so cool. 2 fighting, settle and score. That's 20 plus damage. Does 80 more damage for each prize card your opponent took during their last turn. It's okay, but if they take 2 during your last turn, then boy, you're in. That's 180 damage straight off, which is very cool. 3 fighting, submission, 150 damage. This Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. You know, can't have it all, and that's, you know, not bad. Sudowoodo! Love the Pokemon, but this card looks a little bit weird. His face is just a bit weird. But ability, Roadblock. Your opponent cannot have more than 4 bench Pokemon. If they have 5 or more benched, they discard bench Pokemon until they have 4 Pokemon on their bench. If more than one... It basically says if a card says something about it, it uses that number. That's not bad. Then we have a Fighting in Colours, which is Rock Throw for 40 damage. So it's not a bad card. I think the ability is just there for this card. Then, of course, we have Gligar here. I like this dude a lot. He's got 1 fighting double shot, which does 10 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. It's not bad. Then it evolves into Gliscor, which is 1 fighting, finishing stinger, 70 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon has no damage counters on it, before this attack does damage, this attack does nothing. That is interesting. Then fighting in 2 colours, Guillotine, I believe that's what it says, 90 damage. So you can put that and then do the other one, unless they heal. Then we have Nose Pass here, which has 2 colourless, which is Ram for 20 damage, and then a fighting, and 2 colourless, which is Rising Lunge for 30 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 30 more damage. Barboach, very nice indeed, but we have a colourless for Hook, which is 10 damage, and then a fighting colours for Mud Slap, which is 20 damage. Surprising, because they are waters, but hey-ho, they did it with Chandelure. They're going to do it with others. Wishcash, which is going to be a rare, I can confirm that for you. Fighting 2 colourless, Water Pulse, 60 damage, your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. And for fighting and 3 colourless, Landslip, which is 100 times damage, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. This damage does 100 damage for each energy discarded in this way. So if you can get a load of energy, you're sorted. Pancham here starts off. Very nice artwork, very simplistic, but it works very nice. Karate Chop, 60 minus damage. This attack does 10 less damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. That's a bummer. That is a real big bummer. So not really a good card, but, you know, it looks good. It just isn't good. Rockruff here, a very cute card indeed. A lot of people are liking that a lot. But we have a fighting for Corner. The defending Pokemon cannot retreat during your opponent's next turn. And then 2 colourless, Wild Kick, 30 damage. Flip a coin. If tails, his attack does nothing. That can then evolve into this dude, which I'm hoping to get quite a few of. Lycanroc GX. This is the Midnight form. And yeah, it looks pretty sweet indeed. But the ability, Bloodthirsty Eyes, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with it active. That's not bad. And then for fighting and 2 colourless, Claw Slash, which is 110 damage. And then the GX move, which is a fighting colourless, is 50 times damage, does 50 times damage the number of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That is a pretty sweet card. Then we have Mudbray, which is 2 fightings, double kick, 30 times damage, flip 2 coins, this damage does 30 damage times the amount of heads. Not a bad artwork either. Then we have Mudsdale, which evolves from Mudbray, 2 fighting and a colourless, enhanced stomp, 60 plus damage if this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached to it. This attack does 60 more damage. Not bad. Then we have 3 fighting and a colourless, high horsepower, 180 damage, and this Pokemon does 40 to itself. Interesting. Minior here, which I believe to be a rare, could be. It's swift for a colourless, 20 damage as a Pokemon's this attack's damage isn't affected by weakness resistance, blah 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 blah. 3 fightings is Cosmic Explosion, which is 190 damage, but he dies. So he can do the damage and then he's gone. Moving into Darkness now, we have Murkrow for Whirlwind for a Darkness, which is 10 damage, and your opponent switches active Pokemon with a bench, so that's not bad. Then we have Honchkrow, which has a Darkness with a Feint attack. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon you can pick. Blah, 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 about the weakness and resistance. Then 2 colourless Raven's Claw. This attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter on all your opponent's Pokemon. That is interesting indeed. Sableye, we have 1 darkness, or dark. For limitation, your opponent cannot play any supporter cards from their hand during your next turn. That is very cool indeed. Supporter though, not all trainers, just supporter. Then for a colourless Scratch for 20 damage. I like this as well. Looks very, very cool. He's eating all the gems. Then we have an Absol. And this is Future Sight. Look at the top 4 cards of either player's deck and put them back in any order so you can really mess with your opponent. Then you have Doom News, which is a darkness and colourless. Put all energy attacks to this Pokemon into your hand. At the end of your next turn, the defending Pokemon will be knocked out. That is a pretty good move. Very cool indeed. Then we have a Pangoro, which obviously evolves from that Pancham, the pathetic Pancham, we'll call it that. But that's darkness and 2 colourless. Sky Uppercut is 70 damage. This attacks damages and affected by resistance. Blah 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 blah. We got a darkness and 3 colourless for Magnum Punch, which is 130 damage. So not bad indeed. Then we got this, and I love this. We have a Beldum for Core Beam for just 1 metal, 20 damage. Discard the metal energy from your Pokemon. Interesting. Then you want to evolve it into the Matang, which for a colourless is Ram for 20 damage, and then for 2 metal and 1 colourless, Core Beam, which is 80 damage, and discard a metal against. It's the exact same thing, only you need more energy. Then it evolves into this bad boy, Metagross GX, a pretty sweet looking card. Hoping to find quite a few of this dude. I'm hoping to maybe make a bit of a metal deck. I don't know, it's just sort of got a few metal Pokemon going around, so it'd be pretty cool to get him. But anyway, his ability is Geotech System. Once during your turn, you may attach either a Psychic or Metal Energy from your discard pile to your active Pokemon. Interesting, because it does cover for that colourless. 2 metal, 1 colourless is a Giga Hammer, which is 150 damage. This Pokemon cannot use Giga Hammer during your next turn, but that might be okay because you can then use it for a colourless Algorithm GX. Search your deck for up to 5 cards, put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck. 5 cards. Doesn't say anything at all. It could be any of them. You could get like the rest of these and maybe a few to get your GX again. Then we have Probopass here, which did evolve from that Nose Pass a few cards ago. And this has a metal one here for Energy Link, 30 damage. Attach an energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Not bad. And then for 4 colourless, it does 120 damage. It's not bad, but I probably wouldn't use it. I like the artwork. Then we have Solgaleo, not a GX, but it's another card like Lunala. Lunala. Metal and colourless, Shining Arrow, does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Yeah, it's not bad. You can pick as well. 2 metal and 1 colourless, Fangs of the Sun, 170 damage. This Pokemon can't use Fangs of the Sun during your next turn. Yeah, it's okay. Then we have Clefairy there. Oh wow, that's so cool. For 1 fairy, you can do a slap, but, I mean, read what you want, but 10 damage, wow. 2 colourless, Follow Me, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with your opponent's active Pokemon. I can't get over that. That's so cool. Then you've got Clefable. Very simplistic artwork there with the background and everything. But this has Lullaby for a colourless, which is 20 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. And for a fairy and 2 colourless, Meteor Mash, which is 60 damage during your opponent's your next turn. Sorry, this Pokemon's Meteor Mash attack does 60 more damage. Cottony here, Under the Rain. For 1 colourless, it does a continuous tumble, which is 10 times damage. Flip a coin until you get tails. It's okay. Then Whimsicott here, which evolves from Cottony. Colourless, the Wages of Fluff. If the defending Pokemon is knocked out during your next turn, take 2 more prize cards. Okay. And then for a fairy, you get 30 damage. It's not really ideal, but I mean the colourless thing is meh. Then we've got this one, another evolution getting a GX here, the 3rd one in fact. Another one from that expansion. the same as Toxapex and Vikavolt. No, not Vikavolt. Yeah, it is Vikavolt. One fairy, we have Magical Ribbon. Search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. Fairy, 2 colourless. Fairy Wind, 110 damage. And then for Prior GX, Fairy and 2 colours. Pick 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Your opponent returns these Pokemon, and all cards attack. Oh, that is pretty devastating. Whoo! Then we have a Comfey here. Could be a rare. Hopefully it is rare. Ability, we got Flower Shield. As long as this Pokemon is in play, each of your Pokemon with any fairy energies attached to it cannot be affected by special conditions, and removes all special conditions already on those Pokemon. That's pretty cool. For Fairy and Colours, Sweet Kiss, which is 30 damage, your opponent draws 1 card. Then we have Goomy here. There he is, the knitted one, just like the Poliwag in the previous one. Bubble for a colourless, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralysed. And then for a Water and Fairy, Tackle for 20 damage. It's not bad. That then evolves into Sliggoo, which is right there, which then has 2 moves. 1 colourless, which is Division. Search your deck for up to 2 Sliggoos and put them into your bench. You don't even have to have a Goomy. Done. That's sorted. Then you have a Water and Fairy again. Tackle for 20 damage. Making this up then to the Goodra, which will be a holo as well. Colourless, Power Whip. This attack does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to this Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Right, okay. And then for a Water, Fairy, and a colourless, Beat Slider, 130 damage. Your opponent switches your active their active Pokemon with one of their benched. Then we have Drampar here, another dragon one. We have a colourless for Ames, which is search your deck for a basic energy card and attach it to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. And then for 3 colourless, you have Power Cyclone, 80 damage movement energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Yeah, not bad. Then we have Jangmo-o, which ability is bulletproof. This Pokemon takes 10 less damage from attacks. It's okay. And then we have a Lightning and Fighting, which gives 30 damage. So you need to sort of get a Lightning Fighting deck for this. Hakamo-o, which is a colourless for Headbutt for 30 damage, and then a Lightning, Fighting, and colourless for Dragon Claw for 80 damage. Then you have Komo-o GX 100 card, but there it is there, looking pretty sweet indeed. Colourless is Adamantine Press, I think so. 30 damage during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon does 30 less damage from attacks. Lightning, Fighting, and double colourless. Shred for 130 damage. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. Lightning, Fighting, and double colourless again for the Ultra Uppercut GX. 240 damage. Boom. Pretty sweet indeed. Then we move on to the colourless, which means we're coming to the end of the Pokemon. For Chansey, for 2 colourless, Bind, Wound, flip a coin. If heads, heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. Not bad. 4 colourless, Hammer In, which is 80 damage. Then that can evolve into a Blissey. Ability is Farm Fresh Eggs. Once during your turn, when you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may heal 80 damage from your active Pokemon. Not bad. And then for 4 colourless, it's 160 damage, and it does 80 to itself. So 2 of them, and it's gone. Yikes. Tailo, Reckless Charges, 20 damage. This Pokemon does 10 to itself. And then you also have the Swellow. There's the picture for him, and there's Swellow here. Agility, 20 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, prevent all effects of attacks, including blah 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 blah. Another colourless is Swallow Dive. 40 plus damage. If this Pokemon used Agility during your last turn, this attack does 80 more damage. That's 120 overall. Cast Form here. There he is there, looking pretty sweet. You got Weather Teller. Search your deck for up to 2 Stadium cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand and shuffle your deck. And then for 2 colourless, again, you got Water Pulse, which is 30 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep. Then you have this one, which is apparently a Japanese promo, but it's Rayquaza. 2 colourless, Turbo Storm, 30 damage. Attach 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. Can't be that one, but it's benched. That's pretty cool. Then for 3 colours you have Dragon Claw, which is 80 damage. So, you know, for a Rayquaza, it's not bad. It's not bad. Then we have Patrat right here. Love that artwork. It looks so cool. Colourless for Glance. Look at the top card from your opponent's deck and then return it to the top of the deck. Okay. And then for 2 colours you got Tackle, which is 20 damage. Meh. Watchog here, which evolves from Patrat. You got the colours for Scrutinize. Look at the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, discard one of them and put the other card back. 3 colours is Slam, flip 2 coins, this attack does 60 damage for each head. Meh, interesting. Fletchling here, love this artwork, it looks so cool. Growl, during your opponent's next turn the defending Pokemon's attacks do 20 less damage. And then flat for 2 colourless is 20 damage. Fletchingler here, colourless for flat, which is 20 damage, and then 2 colours for Razor Wind, 40 damage and flip a coin. If tails, this attack does nothing. Ugh. Then, of course, you want to be evolving it into Talonflame, because hopefully you could still throw a break on him, if you got it. But colourless Flame Charge, 30 damage, search your deck for a Fire Energy card, yeah, any card, and attach it to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. And then for 2, Loop to Loop, 90 damage, put all energy attached to this Pokemon into your hand. It's okay. Then we have Stuffle here, looking pretty sweet indeed. But we have a colourless for Tackle, which is 10 damage, and then 3 for 60 damage. Then a Beware, which I didn't know this one was going to be in the set, but it is. It's not even a rare, so thank goodness for that. You're going to get tons of Bewares. Ability is Rake It In. When you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your things, you may draw 3 cards. Then his other attack is 3 colourless, Dangerous Blow, which is 60 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, this does 60 more damage. Komala, right here, the ability Comatose, as long as your Pokemon is an active Pokemon, whenever you attach an energy from your hand to it, it is now asleep. And then you have 3 colours for Hypno Roll, 100 damage. This attack can be used if this Pokemon is asleep. If it's not asleep, this attack does nothing. It's interesting. Now, this isn't the actual Drampar thing, this is the full art for Drampar. But you've got colourless, triple colourless, and then another colourless. But we've got Righteous Edge, which is 20 damage. Discard a special energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Not bad. 3 colourless for Berserk, 80 damage plus. If your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on them, this attack does 70 more damage. That is pretty sweet. And then you have Great Revolution GX, which is shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 10 cards. Boom. Pretty sweet indeed. On to the trainers, we have Aether Paradise Conservation Area. And this is basic, I think it's basic grass, is it? Yeah, grass and lightning Pokemon take 30 less damage. That's not bad. Then you have Altar of the Moon. The retreat cost of each Pokemon for, I think it's, there you go, Psychic and Dark are 2 double colourless less. Then Altar of the Sun, you've got Fire and Metal have no weaknesses. That's pretty cool. So some of these are very cool. Aqua Patch is an awesome card for a water deck. Attach a basic water energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench water Pokemon. Brooklet Hill, once during each player's turn, that player may search the deck for a basic water and fighting. Is it fighting? I think it is. Maybe. Put it into your bench and then shuffle. Choice Band here, Pokemon tool. Attach a Pokemon tool. Oh, the attacks of the Pokemon is attached to do 30 more, which is pretty cool. To your attaches. Right, okay. Only if they're GX or EX, so bear that in mind. Energy Lotto, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal an energy card you find there and put it into your hand. Not bad. Energy Recycler, shuffle 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. That is pretty sweet. Discard a special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon for Enhanced Hammer, which is right there. Looks pretty sweet. Field Blower, choose up to 2 in any combination of Pokemon tool cards and stadium cards in play and discard them. Could even be your own if you really wanted to. Especially if maybe it's one of those, what's it called? Oh, what they called? Team Flare gear, stuff like that. Then you have Hala, which shuffle your hand into your deck. If you have used your GX attack, Draw 7 cards, if not, draw 4. Then you have Mallow, which is a supporter. Search your deck for 2 cards, shuffle your deck, and put these cards on the top of it in any order. That's not bad. Max Potion, heal all damage from one of your Pokemon. If you do, discard an energy attached to that Pokemon. Nice artwork there. Then you have Multi-Switch, move an energy from one of your benched to an active. There's that there. Then you have this Rescue Stretcher. It does one of 2 things. You can either put a Pokemon from discard pile into your hand, or shuffle 3 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck. That is a pretty sweet card. Then we have all the full arts here. Now look at all of these. Of course, all of the different moves and everything stay the same. We'll go through them. There is Turtonator. Looks extremely cool. I love the full arts. Alolan Ninetales. Wishy Washy. Vikavolt. So want to get that. Tapu Koko. Toxapex. Tapu Lele. Lycanroc. Metagross. Sylveon. Hakumomo? Is it? Oh, Como. Como. Drampa. That is the actual full art there. Then you have Hala. You have How. Mallow. Secret rares here. They're all listed here. Going down here, there's tons of them, but we'll go through them. Turtonator. Alolan Ninetales. Wishy Washy. Vikavolt. Tapu Koko. Toxapex. Tapu Lele, Lycanroc, Metagross, Sylveon, Como, Drampa. We also have a full art secret gold card of the Aqua Patch, Enhanced Hammer, Leaf Blower, was it? Max Potion, Rare Candy, Leaf Energy, Lightning Energy, Fighting Energy, and of course, I think a lot of people are going to be looking for this, a double colourless. They are all the cards in which you can get from this set, and believe me, they are pretty sweet indeed. This has been an extremely long video, but I hope it has been informative, and for anyone who hasn't actually seen like any of the new cards or anything like that, hopefully people are enjoyed watching it. You know, I've enjoyed making it, and it's pretty cool because it's psyched me up for tonight now, because I now know what I would like to pull from all the packs and everything. In terms of the pre-release, guys, I will definitely be making some videos on it. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, certainly the opening of the packs. I'm hoping to maybe get some gameplay if I'm lucky enough. I've contacted the people and they said it should be okay. So fingers crossed I can get some gameplay and I can show that off, because it'd be pretty cool to show off some of that. But apart from that, I'm going to leave it here, and hopefully the videos for the pre-release will come up tomorrow. There might also be another one on Sunday. But apart from that, I'll leave it here, and I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, and you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button below, because believe me, Guardians Rising is coming to the channel in force. But apart from that, that's it. Oh, and also, comment down below one, and I literally mean this, one card that you are super duper excited for from this set. Let me know in the comments below. Apart from that, I'll see you guys in the next video on the channel.